Hello, great people. Nigerians are left in shock as a local fraudster, popularly called Yahoo Boy, defraud the US President Donald Trump of over 250,000 US dollars. Yes, you heard me right. The local fraudster in Nigeria, those that the popularly call Yahoo Boy, defraud a whole US President Donald Trump of over 250,000 US dollars. On this episode with your sure plug, Dr. Mosholadej, I will be taking you through the criminal world of local fraudsters, popularly called Yahoo Boy in Nigeria, particularly the case of how US President Donald Trump and his team was defrauded of over 250,000 US dollars. This is one video that you should not miss for any reason because I will be taking you into the world of criminality. Then we'll be looking at how this will affect the international relation between Nigeria and the United States and the consequence for the average Nigerian. We'll be looking at all this and more on this episode with your sure plug, Dr. Mosholadeji. If you are yet to subscribe, of course, do well to subscribe to this channel. Now, let me take you through the world of a Nigerian Yahoo boy called Ehimere Aigbokan. Ehimere Aigbokan scammed the US president and his team of $250,300. They scammed the US president. Ehimere Aigbokan has a fraudsters syndicate and they were audacious enough to scam the US president. You may be wondering that how is it possible? How were they able to scam the US president and his team? Well, it was during the inauguration of President Donald Trump. You will recall that President Donald Trump won the US election and he was to be inaugurated. So when he won the election, and his win came as a surprise to many. And you will recall that when people win election in Nigeria, as well as across the world, definitely everybody will want to align with them. Everybody will want to kind of like clinch with them. You will recall that when Muhammadu Buhari defeated the former president Goodluck Jonathan in 2015, people were switching loyalty to Muhammadu Buhari. That was exactly the case that happened in the United States. So when these Nigerian notorious fraudsters, when they discovered that President Donald Trump won the election, they were monitoring the political situation in the United States, and when they were preparing for the inauguration, the team of US President Donald Trump, they set up an inauguration team. And that team has one person that is a co-chair with Donald Trump called Steve Witkoff. And this Yahoo boy called Ehimere Aigbokan decide to clone the email of Steve Witkoff, the co-chair of the Trump-Vance inauguration team. They cloned the email, and I'll give you the email in a moment, and I'll be taking you through how they were able to kind of like clone the email and how they carry out the transaction. So when they kind of like got wind that Trump has set up an inauguration team, what did they do next? It will shock you. They decide to clone the email, and they were sending emails to popular people, wealthy people, to people that are of substance, that they send the email soliciting for fund, that okay, the US president will be sworn in and would like to partner with you, and also would like to solicit for fund. And you know that at that point in time, definitely if you are a business figure, even if you are an entertainer, you would be happy that, well, the inauguration team of the president is reaching out to you. So if you have money, they definitely you want to contribute. Let me break it down a little bit for you so that you understand. It's like Buhari won an election. He set up an inauguration team. Then the inauguration team was being kind of like cloned by some fraudsters. They cloned their email, and they were not sending email to the likes of Femi Otedola, Dangote, Jimovia and all that. That was exactly what happened. So when they sent the email, there was somebody that decided that, okay, he would like to be part of the Trump inauguration and all that. And the person sent $250,300. That is equivalent to about 450 million naira in Nigerian currency. 450 million naira. Just one person was able to send that. And when they got that money, they decide to be transferring that money from one cryptocurrency account to another. They were transferring the money from one crypto wallet to another. And this Ehimere Aigbokan, is, according to FBI, notorious in crypto fraud and money laundering. So they were moving the money from one account to another, splitting it. And at the end of the day, when they did all the splitting, definitely when the FBI got wind of that particular information, you know that if if you contribute like $250,000 to the inauguration of a US president, and after that you didn't hear anything, you didn't hear from the inauguration team, no invite was sent to you, definitely you want to complain. I think that was how the Trump team and the FBI got rid of that information. So while they were tracing it, one of the cryptocurrency accounts that the money was in, they traced it to Eimere Aigbokan in Lagos. And when the FBI saw that, okay, one account has been traced to Lagos, they began to follow up the case, and they were able to identify that that person is Eimere Aigbokan. And the email that was cloned, the email of Steve Witkoff, the co-chair of the Trump Vance inaugurations team, the email is at t47inaugural.com, at t47inaugural.com. That inaugural is small letter I, T, at T47 inaugural. The inaugural starts with small letter I. They now clone it, they now use small letter L. You know that if you write I and you write small letter L, they look quite similar. That was how they cloned. Look at the kind of brain that our youth are putting into criminality. The brain that they should be using to advance the cause of Nigeria, they are investing it into crime. So the US have been on the trail of this Eimere Aigbokan. But let me now shock you. Out of the old $250,300, the US has only been able to file for the forfeiture of $40,300. Yes, you heard me right, just $40,300. The big question is, where is the other funds? Well, money don't enter voicemail. So out of $250,300, they were able to trace or kind of like file for the forfeiture of $40,300. Now the US security agent FBI is now seeking for an order to go after the properties of Eimere Aigbokan in Lagos and anywhere across Nigeria. But come to think of it, the way these guys live their life, even if you go after his properties, will his property be able to cough out about $200,000? That is one thing that we need to look at. And lest I forget, you see, fraud is very prevalent in Nigeria. Because of the way the country is, everything inspires our youth to become a fraudster. Let us be realistic with us, except we just want to kind of like, praise ourselves unnecessarily. Fraud is very prevalent in Nigeria, different kind of fraud. In fact, there are some that they are not Yahoo boys, but they are fraudsters, in the sense that if something is faulty in your car and you call a mechanic, something that the mechanic will naturally buy for 20,000, the mechanic may tell you that, okay, bring 80,000 naira. Is that not fraud? Is the mechanic a Yahoo boy? Of course not. But the mechanic himself is also a fraudster. So fraud is very common and prevalent in Nigeria. And why is this fraud very prevalent? If you trace it back, it is due to the high rate of unemployment in Nigeria. Unemployment is so high. Since I was a teenager, people have always passed out and there is insufficient jobs. I gained admission into the university. I too graduated, passed out, there was still insufficient job. NYSC is kind of like rolling out graduates just every time after they finish their POP, there's still insufficient job. So all these youth are now investing their intellectualism into crime, and that's why you see that Nigeria has what I call an informal economy, and I will explain it to you. And if you've watched this video to this particular time, definitely you are about to gain something, in the sense that if you look at the whole of Nigeria, there's vast unemployment, the economy is not booming, but at the same time you see people driving fast cars, flashy cars, you see people going to parties, spraying money, you see people that are living large. You will see guys that you can't really say this is what they are doing, and they are even living large than some people that are working 9 to 5, that have worked all their life. Now, what are they doing? What are they surviving on? It is an informal economy. In Nigeria, you won't see that. You won't hear in the news that, oh, somebody was just walking on the street and he died. Why? Because the economy is bad. Why? Because there's no job. No. Most of those people are surviving on informal economy. Don't mistake me. There are people that work hard. There are people that make it legitimately. There are people that God have blessed. But majority of some of these guys, they are into fraud. And what is that informal economy? Which is that you are using an illegitimate means. You are using soft or hard criminality to survive. Soft criminality in the sense that if you decide to use your system to kind of like perpetuate fraud, I call that soft criminality in the sense that you are not carrying arms. But if you are a kidnapper, if you are an armed robber, I call that, add criminality. So either which ways, you see that people are surviving. That itself brings the prevalence of informal economy. So apart from unemployment, what are the things that also influence this informal economy and criminality among Nigerian youth? Another thing is social media influence, in the sense that when there was no social media, definitely the world was relatively more peaceful, in the sense that things don't circulate very, very fast. But now that there is social media, and you find Nigerians that are willing to flaunt their wealth on social media, particularly some of these Nigerians that you can't really trace the source of their wealth, definitely you will see that people get influenced and people get desperate. If you see somebody that they call a businessman and you can't really trace the business, and that person is holding a kind of like very lavish party, even so kind of like lavish party, in the sense that that yes, if they talk of party, this is party. Money is being spent, money is being sprayed anyhow, and at the end of the day, some of these should get influenced by that. Another thing that is influencing all these things is the political influence. Now, from my constituency as a political scientist, I cannot underestimate the political influence, in the sense that there's vast corruption in Nigeria. You wake up in the morning, you are reading the news, you are hearing, oh, Yahya Bello stole, maybe 4 billion naira. Then you tune into your TV, you hear Ifeanyi Okowa allegedly stole 1.4 trillion naira. Then you tune into another station again. Then you hear, oh, Nyesom Wike allegedly stole 4 trillion naira. Then you will be thinking that, why are these people stealing like this? And it will encourage you that, it be like say stealing away. It be like say if person wants to survive now to steal. So all these things, the social media influence, the political influence, and the unemployment, all these things, create and entrench the prevalence of informal economy. And the consequence of this is that, are you thinking of getting a visa in the United States? Well, what I can say is no think camp for now. Are you thinking of kind of like getting an employment in the United States, or having anything to do with the United States? No think camp, because it is a Igbokon that perpetrate the crime, but all Nigerians will suffer for it. And that is how it is in the realm of international relations. This that they have done to somebody that is a white supremacist like Donald Trump definitely won't go without consequence on Nigeria and Nigerians. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with your short blog, Dr. Omosoladeji. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.